Hello, my name is Jamie and welcome back to the channel. Unlike any other channel that showcases Pokemon Go PvP content, my channel exclusively showcases Shadow Pokemon. So if you're into that type of content, I'd appreciate it if you could like and subscribe.
So let's get into today's video. In today's video, we are testing out yet another spicy Shadow Pokemon. Which Pokemon, you might ask? Well, I was seeing a hell of a lot of Whiscash, seen a few Lantern, a few other water types, even a few Blastoise. Obviously Celio, Lapras, which are kind of water ice, still take super effective from a spammy grass type. With that in mind, I thought, what better time to feature Shadow Bellossom. I've used it in a few social tournaments, but I've never actually featured it on the channel. And it is a Pokemon that is super spammy, generating energy really quickly with a nuke move. And these are the perfect sort of Pokemon for my playstyle. So, the moveset we'll be running on it is going to be Bullet Seed, Leaf Blade and Dazzling Gleam. It does learn Razor Leaf, but we don't run none of that nonsense on this channel. I was having a few different team comps. I did try it with things like Dragonair, Shadow Gliscor, a few other Shadow Pokemon. I couldn't really get it to work. I then paired it up with the two big boys we saw in yesterday's video, Shadow Celio and Overheat Shadow Ninetails. And I ran two sets and I went 5-0, 4 and 1. So without any further ado, let's get straight into the battles. We will be leading our Shadow Celio for the duration of this video. And in game 1, we pick up a fairly decent lead against the Charmer. It's fairly decent as Celio is super bulky even as a Shadow. However, it's not decent when you lag. You can see we're at half health and we've just got to one body slam. As usual though, tap players do give us a shield on the first move and we manage to get to this second move. We bring the Clefable down to half health. We would normally get to at least 3 body slams, but you can see there the weak connection and we managed to get farmed down. So we bring in our Shadow Ninetails. We are going to shield this up in case it hits with a Psychic. It's just a Meteor Mash, but we do want to keep some health on our Ninetails. We managed to farm down the Clefable. And in the back they've got a Whiscash, so let's hope Shadow Bellossom can sweep. We then again fairly hard countered with a Frostlass, but we are ahead in energy. So if we manage to get the shield here, which we do, we are going to be able to shield up their move. We manage to sneak the Bullet Seed through, which is massive for us. This is going to mean we're going to outpace them to the nuke of Dazzling Gleam before they get to their next Avalanche. And this Dazzling Gleam is going to be enough now to take out the Frostlass. Back in comes Whiscash and we beat it to the charge move. However, even though we haven't got that much health, a Mud Bomb would not KO as it's resisted. And Shadow Bellossom sweeps in game 1 despite that horrible bit of lag at the start. GG's to that opponent. Off to a 1-0 start, and in game 2 we pick up a much better lead against the Mandibars. Obviously these Powder Snows are hitting for super effective. The opponent safe switches into a Whiscash. And obviously this is where Shadow Bellossom is going to be fantastic. We overfarm just a touch before they even threaten us with a Blizzard and we immediately take them out. Back in comes the Mandibars. Does this Mandibars know about Dazzling Gleam? We can tank these charge moves fairly well. Aerial Ace is a pretty bad move even with stab, and we are a Shadow. We are still got some decent bulk. We go straight for this Dazzling Gleam. The opponent does know, so they obviously shield that up, which is great for them. However, they are over farming. The good thing about running some of these off-meta picks is absolutely no one knows the count. So Mandibars gets hit with yet another charge move. The Dazzling Gleam takes it deep into the red and we actually CMP tie. This is best case scenario. We can now bring in Celio. We can tank absolutely anything this Mandibars wants to throw and we will commit to the farm down. The opponent switches out into Registeel and hello Mr. Registeel. Public enemy number 2 behind Bastiodon. We've got a present waiting for you. The opponent builds up not even enough energy for the Focus Blast, so we're not shielding a Flash Cannon. And the opponent backs out, so GG's to that opponent. Off to a 2-0 start. Moving on into game 3. When you're building some of these teams, this game's got a really good way of showing you things that you are super weak to. We pick up a lead against Cavalier. Cavalier is dreadful. I've got absolutely nothing to do other than sack my lead. We take the drill run. I attempt to get to the water pulse. You can see there we lose our Pokemon. And this cavalier is almost at full health, so we had to sack our lead, as obviously Shadow Blossom can't do anything to cavalier either. We bring in our Ninetails, and luckily the opponent aggressively switches out into a Lantern. So with this in mind, we can now switch into our Blossom. So we build up to close to 100 energy, we fire off this Leaf Blade. It doesn't KO, however this is fine for us. We can tank this second Thunderbolt, we will be deep in the red, but we'll have so much energy to threaten this returning cavalier. Even resisted cavalier is super squishy in the Great League. It's not even got that much bulk in Ultra League, so you can imagine in Great League it really doesn't want to take any charge moves. We draw a shield with the first Leaf Blade. Obviously the opponent is recognising that we are quite weak to this thing. I now make an aggressive switch into Ninetails. We snipe down the Frosselas, cavalier I should say, and in the back they've got the Frosselas. So this Frosselas is going to have a real tough time against Kanto Ninetails. The first Weather Ball draws the shield. This second Weather Ball should be taking him out, and the opponent actually backs out. So you can see there we had a dreadful lead, but we managed to come back in that game, and we go off to a 3-0 start. So moving on into game 4 of the video, we pick up a lead against the Drift Blim. This is pretty good for us, as obviously these Powder Stones are hitting for super effective. You can see with Shadow bonus, these Powder Stones are really adding up. The opponent throws at force, they're looking to debuff us, and they bring in an Obstagoon. Once again, counter isn't really great for us, even debuffed. I am looking to try and chip this Obstagoon down a bit before I switch out. I make a move now into my Shadow Blossom. I'm hoping that it's now in Leaf Blade range. I've never obviously played Blossom into Obstagoon. Unfortunately, it does survive with 1 HP. They're building up a lot of energy. They've now done 11 counters, so I am going to shield up in case they try and gunk shot us, which they do. This is great for us because we now can Bullet Seed down. The opponent immediately switches back into their Drift Blim, and when they're at 3 hexes, just before they get to the Icy Wind, we're going to fire off this Dazzling Gleam. The opponent no shields, obviously not knowing their moveset, and in the back they've got a Machamp. So Machamp is going to have to now start shielding. They're not going to want to take this Leaf Blade. I now aggressively switch into my Ninetails. I don't want to get farmed down. I am going to shield this move up because I do believe I'm going to outpace them to this next charge move. So just before they get to their next cross shot, they're now 1 counter short. We fire off this Weather Ball. I expect this to draw the last shield, which it does. The opponent is going to have to throw energy. They correctly CMP tie us because obviously Shadow Machamp does beat Ninetails in CMP. However, they're not at a move now. They're not at the back-to-back. So Shadow Celio is going to be a Shadow Machamp counter confirmed. We've got the Body Slam loaded, and that is enough to take game 4. Off to a 4-0 start. Let's see if we can manage to clutch out the 5-0. So we have our Shadow Celio into yet another thing that we can't switch out of. A Toxicroak. Because our Blossom would be hitting it for resisted damage, the only way we can hit it for neutral is with Dazzling Gleam. The opponent lets our Body Slam go through, and at this stage now they're at 9 counters, so they're going to have to shield up this Body Slam, which they do, and it looks like they've got scared that they're going to get Powder Snowed down. So Celio, even though it's taking super effective damage against the squishy Toxicroak, it does manage to draw a shield and get it very deep in the red. We bring in the Ninetails. We manage to farm down before they reach a Mud Bomb. And in the back, they've got an Empoleon. They are now down to 1 shield. Even though I'm taking super effective waterfall damage, I can't resist the chance to hit this Empoleon with the big nuke of an overheat. The opponent doesn't shield. In the back, they've got a Hypno. So this is going to be a GG, as Blossom is going to be able to make the 3 charge moves that is required before we get Confusion down. So, GG's to that opponent. You can see in that set, we did face some really, really tough leads, but we managed to overcome them all with the team comp, and we managed to go 5-0. We do actually have 2 more bonus battles for you. So, moving on into bonus battle 1. We led our Shadow Celio into a Hitmonchan. This is obviously dreadful. Hitmonchan's attack stat is ridiculous. So, we say swap into Blossom, and we're hard countered by a Flyer. But does this Mandibuzz know about the Dazzling Gleam? The Mandibuzz does not shield. Now it's in the red. So now we're going to be able to force a shield with this resisted Leaf Blade, which we do. This is great for us. I know that shield advantage is going to be key in these sort of hard counter matchups. I allow Blossom to go down, and now the play here is to commit to the Powder Snow down. If I completely Powder Snow it down, we'll have loads of energy to throw at this Hitmonchan. So I overfarm to the back-to-back Body Slam, and now it's Body Slam spam time. The first one draws the shield. I then fire off this second Body Slam, hoping to do a nice bit of chip damage, which we do. We get it down to about half health, and we switch out. The opponent's only threw 5 counters, so I know this has to be a power-up punch. I'm not going to shield. And the opponent now switches out once again into a Mud Boy. So we're hard counted in the lead, on the swap, and in the back. They've got a Wish Cash. The opponent goes immediately for the Mud Bomb. So we CMP tie him. We do go down. However, we've now got a 2-shielded Celio against the remainder of this team. I know these Mud Bombs don't do too much damage, as Celio is quite thick. You can see I'm over farming heavily. What we need to do here is we need to have a move ready for when they aggressively swap back in that Hitmonchan. We've now got 2 shields, so I can now shield this move up. You can see I'm at the move, but I don't throw it, as I know they're going to try and swap out at some stage. So this Body Slam should be enough to take out the Hitmonchan. And we're going to outpace this Wish Cash to the next charge move. Even if they had a charge move, we do have the shield save. So a team there where we were absolutely hard countered. Good energy management manages to get us the dub. So moving on into bonus battle 2 of the video. We've seemed to have drawn a very strange lead here. I'm looking at an Altaria. Altaria is very much banned from Remix Cup, which means that, like the noob that I am, once again we've entered the wrong league. The Altaria is staying in, which is a bit strange, as it is taking double super effective damage from these ice type fast move in the Powder Snow. So the opponent actually shields a Body Slam. We're at the back-to-back. The opponent double shields this thing, so I've got no idea what they could possibly have in the back. We draw the opponent's last shield as well, and now we bring in Ninetails. I am now going to go for a resisted Fire Spin farm down. So we managed to get the farm down. Let's see what they've got. They've got a Bastiodon. So when you got Bastiodon in the back, it's one of these Pokemon that has really, really hard wins or really, really hard losses. So the opponent has obviously chose to double shield to try and align that Pokemon with one of the really hard wins. Obviously, Bastiodon Smackdowns would be hitting Kanto Ninetails for super effective damage. However, we now safe switch into our Blossom. The opponent isn't switching out, so you can only mean one thing. Hello, Mr. Azumarill. We're about to meet you with Shadow Blossom. First of all, you can see that we're going to have to get rid of this Bastiodon. We was upper shield, so we shield the Flamethrower. These Leaf Blades do a lot of damage. We managed to beat the Bastiodon, and in the back there is Mr. Azumarill that we are waiting for. Shadow Blossom's going to have to get to 2 Leaf Blades. You see the first does around 50%, and we're not going to get bubbled down. This second Leaf Blade is going to take out Azumarill. So, in that second game, even though we entered the wrong league, Shadow Blossom, by itself, managed to take out 2 XL Pokemon with the XL Bastiodon and XL Azumarill. Even though I didn't showcase Shadow Blossom in the Open Great League, you can see from that battle where I did enter the wrong league by accident, it does have some real solid play. So, let's talk about the team. Like I said at the start of the video, I did try and run Shadow Blossom with a few other team comps, and it didn't go that sort of well, but I did run it for 2 sets with this team, and I thought the team comp was fantastic. You can see there, even in the games that we are hard counted, stuff like Cavalier, we got a really, really solid response in Ninetails, so you can just sack your lead, and usually that energy advantage is enough to clutch out that game. So I would highly recommend trying this team out. Obviously it's real spicy, none of the Pokemon in it are really top meta, but you can see that we are sweeping teams. So if you enjoy this type of content, I'd really appreciate if you could smash that like button. Also hit the sub button if you're not subbed already. We are now over 500 subs. I'd just like to say thanks for the huge support we have been receiving recently, and I will see you all in the next one.